Counter Attack podcast for myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. I told you I'm going to give it to you every day. Pause. I told you I'm going to give you a new video every day, man. But I'm feeling poorly, so if you hear me coughing and everything, that's why. But yesterday was just, I just couldn't put out a video because I was just sick. I don't know what's going around. Sorry. I don't know what's going around, but yeah, something tried to take me out yesterday. But we're here, and I'm going to give you some content. But listen, also, if you hear me coughing, I never want to use my studio and think he's coughing into these mics. I've got a can of Dettol right there that anytime I record, anytime anyone uses my studio, I spray it and get all the dirt and bacteria away. Because some people, the way they talk into my mics, yeah. Anyway, right, where do we start? I don't actually know, to be honest. Obviously, Man United have just played. And drew 1-1. And when I looked at the starting lineup, I was like, they're really going defensive. Like, they're really, really going defensive with this one. And then I was just like, do you know what? Let me just see. Jose Mourinho against Ten Hag. By the way, I thought it was hilarious that Ten Hag said both managers are used to winning a lot of trophies between them. We have a lot of trophies between. Like, the way he was smart, because obviously in the last 2 seasons and whatever, but he tried to make it sound like him and Mourinho were on par. They're not on par. But yeah, I found that funny. And going into the match, I was watching and I was just like, you know what? Let me see how this goes. Let me see if United come unstuck again, innit? And straight away, I see Mazraoui in the midfield. And I'm like, rah, you telling me they couldn't get another player in there? Like, why would they prefer him in that position rather than a Casemiro? I found that a bit odd. I don't know. I didn't know Mazraoui could even play that position. Maybe I'm late to that. But yeah, I felt that was a bit odd. What I will say, Ugart, I feel like he struggled since he's come into the Premier League. Obviously, you need that settling in period. But I feel like European football is better suited for him. And I clocked it today because it's a slower pace. The intensity is not as much. And I feel like he can kind of find his feet. And I think it showed today because he actually played all right. He did well today, man. So, yeah, Eriksen got a good goal. Eriksen, by the way, I feel like he's having a good season. But when I said this to people, they were talking to me like, or coming back to me saying, you're mad, you don't know what you're talking about. But let's make this clear, yeah? Am I bugging, or has Christian Eriksen actually been maybe United's best player this season? And if he hasn't, then can we at least say that he's actually played all right? There's times I'm looking and I'm like, he's United's best player. But people talk about him like he's deadwood. So let me know if I'm talking mad here, or if I've actually got a point here. Because I look at him play and I'm like, he's miles above the rest of their players right now. So, not saying that their other players can't get there or whatever, but he's playing well. And, you know, he got his goal today. I felt like United didn't deserve their goal at the time. I felt like Fenerbahce had the better of it and everything. But the thing about United always give chances away. United will always give chances away. And it's about whoever they're playing at the time. If whoever they're playing has enough quality to put those chances away. Fenerbahce got a chance that they put away. By the way, Martinez, listen, we're going to have a conversation about Martinez, because I like Martinez, but I feel like for someone who comes with, you know, World Cup winner and comes with, and is spoken about as being one of the best in the league, I feel like there's too many times where he shows himself a bit. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's an experienced player. For that goal, he's watched it the whole way. He can see the player next to him the whole way. You either get tucked right in, or at least tell Lindelof, who should have had his body open a bit, but at least tell him to open up and let him be aware. But there was none of that, and they've gone and scored. Every game he gets himself involved in like silly tackles here and there, and I don't know if it's just a form thing, but he needs to fix up because then like I said, I like him, but he's looking a bit funny in the light. Maybe they need to bring him back into in as a centre back. But I feel like he's played games at centre back and still looked, a bit shaky. So yeah, that's just one to keep an eye on. Onana, listen, Andre Onana, yeah. I feel like first season, he obviously struggled first season. And I feel like he struggled because he thought he could play how he played in Italy, how he played in Ajax and everything. But I do feel like this season, you know what? I said Eriksen's been their best player. It might be Onana. It might actually be Onana. I think Onana, he's showing why they brought him in. He's showing what, to be honest, a lot of people knew he had this in him, this form in him. But I think what didn't help is the fact that he started off bad, number one. Number two, he was following from De Gea. But you see what he's doing this season. He's playing well. And some might say he's been the best keeper in the league. I personally think it's been David Raya. But Onana, there's a case that it's Onana as well. So between Onana and David Raya, I think those have been the two best in the league this season so far. But yeah, he's keeping them in games. He's making saves that win matches. Today he did a double save, and it was just a really, really good save. So yeah, man, he's playing well, man. But Fenerbahce, they got the draw. They'll be happy with the draw. United will probably be happy with the draw away. It could have been way worse when I seen that starting lineup. But Ten Hag, he gets another result, and at the end of the day, it's a results business. And as long as he gets these results here and there, they went away to Porto, they got a result. Who else did they go to? Porto. I forgot where else they went. And they've come away to Fenerbahce, they got the result. They're going to be looking, thinking, okay, there's enough to build on. So, fair play to them. I can't believe Fred didn't make at least one foul for those that had money on it. Fred didn't make one foul, which, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it was interesting seeing the players that Fenerbahce had who used to play in the Premier League. Yeah, Tadic, Dzeko, Fred, Amrabat, Soyuncu. Is that it? That's 5 that I've just named off the top of my head. All players that used to play in the Premier League. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, moving on. What else happened in the Champions League? Oh yeah, Vinicius. Listen, on a podcast a couple weeks ago when I had Scorcher here last, he was telling me that Rodrigo is Madrid's most important player and he's better than Vinicius. And Scorcher, no. I said at the time that he's not. Good player, very, very good player, but he's not better than them guys. So yeah, I think what we're seeing from Vinicius is what you want to see from a player who has the rep of him, who they're talking about being, probably going to be the potential Ballon d'Or winner in a couple of weeks. And you want to see that from him. You want to see players who take the game by the scruff of the neck. They're obviously losing against Dortmund yesterday in the Champions League, but even at I think it was 2-1 when they were losing, he was hunting down the ball. He was making stuff happen. He obviously got the goals. He obviously got a hat-trick. But I think what we're seeing from him is him coming into his own and saying, I am that guy. I am that guy, which is what you want to see in those big, big moments. And I always say the world-class players at the highest level, at the biggest stages, they make a difference. And we've seen with Vinicius, especially over the last 2 years, we've seen with Vinicius that he is making a difference. There are times where he has been non-existent, but I feel like over the last year especially, he's got the added consistencies to his game to have moments like that. He don't always get hat-tricks every week, no, of course not. But the impact he's making in games is clear to see. So shout out Vinicius, man. And I saw Jamie Lawrence post, by the way, if you want insight into football, follow Jamie Lawrence. Jamie Lawrence is I still go to him for like strength and conditioning. So He's a former Premier League player. He was at Bradford. He was at Leicester. Played for Jamaica against Ronaldo and all them, the real Ronaldo. And now he does strength and conditioning, and all the pros go to him. But he also posts about his opinions on football. And he said, listen, Mbappe's not that guy. Is this what he was saying? In fact, I'm going to play it to you guys. I'm going to play it to you. Let me get my headphones. All right, I'm gonna play this to you right now. Let's see. Jamie Lawrence. Oh, where is it? Is it this one? Yeah.
Vinicius all day.
Hold on. Here we go.
Said it at the time. I'm going to say it again. Vinicius all day over Mbappe. When I said it last time, people were getting onto me. Listen, he's now gone to Real Madrid, and I know you need a settling in period or whatever, but Vinicius has gone on to bigger heights. He's carrying the team. It's not Mbappe. And I said it at the time, I thought Mbappe was limited. Yeah, he's got pace, but I don't think he's clean. And I was getting everyone jumping on me. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I actually do know what I'm talking about. Listen, I don't want no player to do bad because I've been in the industry myself. And I want every player to make a good living and whatever. But I just never saw it was Mbappe. Listen, let's see. I know it's early doors, but let's see, because for me, he was a big fish in a small pond at PSG. And then when Neymar and Messi come, he's spitting his dummy out. And listen, I don't care who you are, you have to be a team player as well.
Right. That was Jamie Lawrence. See what he said about Mbappe? You know what? I'm just going to leave that there with Mbappe. You let me know what you guys think about what he said. In fact, what I will say about Mbappe is that you want more from him. Yes, you need to have a set in period, like he said. But there's games where he's drifting a lot through games. He's coasting through games a lot. And with certain players, especially of the caliber that we're talking about with Mbappe, you can see the qualities and, they have their moments. He's not done that enough. And again, like Jamie also said, it's early days, so he might just kick on and just be good for the rest of the season. But for now, we're seeing a lot of that. And if we're being honest, and I'm not here to talk down on Mbappe, I'm just having a conversation about Mbappe. But if we're being honest as well, many a times in Champions League, and people will always say that, the people he's surrounded by in terms of his team were not good enough. But many times we've seen in Champions League him just kind of coast through. Do you get what I'm saying? And there are going to be standout games like the World Cup final where he showed himself. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think people just want to see that a bit more from him. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my little Champions League roundup. Obviously, Arsenal. Did I talk about Arsenal before? When did Arsenal play? Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think I spoke. No, I didn't speak about Arsenal. Yeah. No, I did speak about Arsenal. I must have spoken about Arsenal. Anyway, I'm not going to speak about Arsenal. What I will say, though, Arsenal-Liverpool this weekend. All right, Arsenal. Let's have a quick Arsenal chat. I feel like people are talking about Arsenal right now. I saw a tweet from someone saying this is the worst football they've seen from Arsenal in 35 years. And I'm like, what? This is definitely not the worst football you've seen from Arsenal in the last 35 years. Like, I understand people want them to do better, but this is why I also talk about how people underestimate the the importance of players like Odegaard, because not having someone like Odegaard in the team, it has a massive impact in terms of how we flow, how we go from this transition to that transition, our attacking patterns. There's a massive difference because we haven't got another player like Odegaard who can do that. Now, the problem is he's obviously injured right now. So then it's up to the team to come up with another way to play. And I understand that. But when you now have him out and then you now have Saka out as well, it's big problems. So I think people just need to actually take that in. I do think, though, that we are going through a moment where things just aren't going right for us. And in terms of the decisions, the performances, the injuries, we are going through that moment. But every team who wins championships go through that moment. Was it last year? I think De Bruyne was out for Man City for so long. Rodri's now out for them for looking like the season. So everyone's going to miss big players. Liverpool had it, and Liverpool had to get on with it. Liverpool had way more injuries at one point. So I do think that it's okay to have big players missing at some point throughout the season, because you're going to. I think the problem comes is when those injuries are long term without those big players. So, you know, yes, Arsenal have Liverpool this weekend and they have to suck it up against Liverpool, but, you know, you should still be going there. If you're going to win the league, you should still be going there, playing that match, trying to win. What I don't want to see is Arsenal set up to get a draw. No. If Arsenal want to be serious about winning the league and challenging for the league, let's just say, yes, there's no Saka looking like, no Odegaard, no Saliba, but you should still be setting up and have the mentality that you're going to win the game. It's going to be harder because, of course, you would like those players involved, but when they're not involved, I don't think we should use that as, this is why we can't win. No, go in there. I think if long term we were to be without those players, then 100% we can talk about that and make a case for it. But for Liverpool, you want those players in. But if you really want to show how, you know, what you're made of in a title race, you just have to just get past it and try and get the result. So let me know what you guys think. I think that's it from me. Is there anything else I've missed out that I should be talking about? No, not really. I think that's it. But yeah, guys, I'm back tomorrow. We're out.